I believe I can start recording our today's session. The 1 minute is still left, and we will so patiently wait for all those willing to come. Hopefully they will. Uh-huh. Okay. So if your mood were the weather, how would you describe it? How would you describe your today's mood? Just imagine that it's just the weather. Good evening. So write in the chat. How would you describe today's mood of yours? Yeah, imagine that it's just the weather. Windy, sunny, pleasant,
Six lectures today.
partly cloudy. Yulia, could you please specify?
My mood is changing during the day. That's why it's not fully sunny, but not cloudy too. So I'm thinking it's partly cloudy.
Still, so at times it's overcast with clouds. Yeah. 11 people are here. Oh, Elizaveta, so
Good
nice to
evening.
see you. So good evening. So I remember you texted me the previous time. So there was some cut off in electricity, and that's why you couldn't be present. But luckily, sunny and warm, says Natalia. Oh, it means that you are like that you feel pretty positive. Perfect. That's perfect.
The most positive one, yeah.
Yeah, that's high time to start the class. Start our session. Now let me share the screen in order to show some some slide of my presentation. Yeah. And you will understand why I'm sharing that with you. Yeah. So could you please have a look at this slide, especially at all those pictures you can see there, and try to guess what our today's topic will be related to and how these pictures will be related to what we will discuss today.
It seems like some comics, I don't know.
Kind of. So does it mean that we will be discussing comics or just humor?
So my idea is maybe it's about the negotiations and interactions just within the class between students and teacher.
Kind of, yeah, kind of. Because whenever we are teaching somebody, yeah, whenever this learning process comes, it's always about some sort of negotiations because we do need to take into account the interests of other people.
It's like
About
atmosphere,
different types of learning.
in the class, yeah.
Atmosphere
What?
in the classroom. Okay, you are on the right track. Move on.
No, well, I would suppose it may be like climate,
Something like
microclimate.
yeah, mindfulness, something like this one, maybe, yeah.
Microclimate, yeah, and so atmosphere, pour in the classroom, or in general, we will talk about how to understand different types of learners, yeah, and their needs, So how a teacher can adjust, so what is done in the classroom to the needs of the students, yeah. If you happen to look at this slide, you'll see what the topic of our today's session is. That's understanding learners' needs, motivating and engaging students. And at this very moment, I'd like to share another slide of mine. This time, okay, question? No? This time, so I will address you with a question. What do teachers need to know about their learners to teach them effectively? Just you name that and I will start typing.
Maybe let's start with some pretty basic things like age.
Okay, can be age. Yeah. Then what else?
Maybe the purpose of learning. So first of all.
Okay, the purpose. So teacher's purpose, teacher's goals, students' goals, both.
Students goals.
Students'
It's
goals.
about teachers, yes? What should teachers know about the goals of students?
Goals, or in general, kind of needs.
Needs.
Then what else?
Level proficiency.
Their interests.
Level, yeah. So their level. Then
Level of course,
interest.
and interest.
Okay.
Their weak spots and their strength.
So weaknesses and strengths. Oh. Okay, then anything else to be added, to be mentioned? So Ina, nice to see you. So perhaps you will say something.
Thank you.
Can we say some kind of level of concentration?
Level of concentration. So we were talking about level of knowledge. Okay, maybe so. So level of concentration. Okay. Anything else? Should we take into account learners, for example, styles, yeah, types, yeah? So learner.
I
So,
usually ask about the how much time do we have? Yes, to achieve something. It is maybe for learning.
okay. Then time allotted. Okay,
Yeah.
time allotted to doing something. Так. And let us add something else for this arrow not to be empty. H, goals, needs, level of proficiency, level of concentration. Oh, sorry, weaknesses. I didn't see, there was a mistake. Weaknesses and strengths, interests. Then time allotted to doing something, learners, types. And okay, so we did not mention learners. Learners. Oh, what is it?
Background.
Background, yeah. Learner's background as well. Background. Now, let us discuss it in more detail. I'm highly interested in what you personally understand by all these factors, yeah? And why are they essential for us to be able to fully understand our learners? Age, yeah? So the very first and basic thing, as Elizaveta has mentioned, so she said, let us start with age. Why is it essential?
Because of the topics you can embrace. I mean, not every topic is suitable for, like, let's say, young adults, yeah, but they will be very interesting for people like, let's say, middle age or something like that. And also maybe, yeah, just like maybe it's very connected to their interests and their experience, like life experience in general.
See your point, thank you. Level of proficiency, I will add it here because so currently it's not quite understandable. So what kind of level we are talking about? Level of proficiency. Level of proficiency. Then, so comment on that, please, like someone who mentioned it. Oh, be more active.
It's essential to know the level of proficiency because depending on the level of proficiency, the teacher may suggest different methods of teaching and material, arrange the material appropriately, yeah, choose the appropriate material and arrange it, and then choose the methods to teach the students according to the level of proficiency. Yeah.
Yeah, so it seems that Elizabeth is about to say something.
Yes, I wanted to add something. It's very important to know the level of proficiency of your student. Also, for us as teachers to understand which words we can use to explain the topic. Yeah, which expressions, which tenses I can use, which structures I can use. So it will be very clear and understandable for my student. So also for that.
So all the methods, all the techniques and approaches applied by the teacher should be adjusted to the level of the proficiency of your learners, right? Yeah. Then goals, like somebody mentioned, so these goals, and we were talking about purposes. It seems to me it was Natalia, yeah?
Yes,
So,
it was my idea, yes, about this one. Okay, because sometimes, but in most cases, the learners should present as, so for example, I would like to improve my English to pass the test. I would like to improve my English just for general understanding. So different, yes, goals and needs.
Weaknesses and strengths of your students. Why is this factor essential?
So you can choose some activities where they can be the most effective, yeah, when they can just maybe stand out, yeah, when they can understand better a topic. Yeah, and also some like weaknesses I also wanted to mention because I don't know if we can call that a weakness, but a lot of students nowadays they have one very common disorder. Yeah, it's dyslexia, and that's also a very important thing to mention. Yeah, because people with this particular thing. Yeah, we should choose a bit different approach to them. Different tasks, different reading text. Yeah, so it's a different approach.
Yeah. So it's kind of like an impediment or impairment, yeah, that can prevent them from learning effectively. So previously it wasn't so popular even to start talking about having this problem, yeah. There were a lot of actors, Hollywood actors, namely Keira
Yes.
Knightley, then Tom
Tom
Cruise.
Cruise.
Yes, the rest, yeah. So they do have like this problem, and in order to get those roles in Hollywood films, what did they do? They learned everything by heart because they knew perfectly well that they would experience some difficulties there with reading. Yeah, thank you for mentioning.
And now a lot of students' books, yeah, are provided with a test booklet for the students with dyslexia.
Yeah, so luckily nowadays, so textbooks become adjusted to students' needs. Then Natalia has mentioned that her students usually ask about time allotted because
Yeah.
it reflects one of their needs. Why is it so essential to take into consideration this factor as well?
Okay, mostly speaking about those who would like to pass the exam. If you have, for example, 1 month, okay, you must give the student the material just proper, or just maybe connected to the exam in itself. Yes, but when we have, for example, 3 months for preparation, you have got enough time to improve grammar skills, listening skills, or just any other skills.
Then learners types. Are you in the know of them? So, like, we claim very often that we are, for example, visual learners or
Yes,
auditory
visual,
learners,
kinethical,
kinesthetic,
yes, kinesthetic, and audio. Yes, just all
auditory, visual,
auditory. Yeah.
kinesthetic, olfactory. Yeah, so like depending on the way we like to perceive the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then, interests. What kind of interest should be taken into account? And how can we do that as teachers?
For example, we can ask them about their hobbies, what they like in their everyday life, and accordingly, we can create some additional exercises according to their lifestyles, interests, preferences, and so on and so forth. Not just, for example, talking about rock music when there are only pop music listeners.
So we should
Something like
do
that.
some analysis, yeah, kind of conduct the questionnaire to
Of
find out
course,
what
to
they
be on the same page with them. Yeah, when we give examples that they like, of course, it's better to connect with them and yeah, to
and to
be
be
like a cool teacher for them.
kind of on the same wave, on the same page as you've mentioned. I'm highly interested in the level of concentration. So how can it be checked? How can it be improved?
Oh, in their eyes. For example, I'm teaching cadets and I always see when the lights are off their eyes,
Yeah.
in their eyes, and I lose them.
Yeah,
And
I work a lot with teenagers, and that's a problem.
You mean,
Concentration is
so
always
do
a
you work
problem.
online? So sorry for interrupting. Do you work online?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what makes a problem because
Yeah,
in offline communication, you can definitely control all that stuff. Yeah, so like you can see in case if they get distracted and start looking sideways, you just come to them and pat them on their shoulders and say,
yeah.
so you can say, so Kolya, so like, could you please give me your mobile phone? So could you please like be so participate more actively in something? Yeah.
But online, it's a bit more difficult, and usually something that I repeat all the time is like, "Can you please turn on your cameras? But can you please turn on your cameras?
And what do we
Don't look at your
and what do
phone.
we hear in response is usually, sorry, there is a
Wait,
cut off. My battery is almost dead. Yeah,
I
so
don't have a camera."
that's what they usually say. And the last one, learner's background. Actually, from this level of concentration, we gradually move or we can switch to learner's background in general. In fact, so like most of the things we've already discussed, so can be incorporated by this umbrella term learner's background. Because when it comes to it, yeah, we should take into consideration whether it's like one parent family or just a family with like two parents, whether they experience some financial difficulties or struggle with something, yeah, or live in some reduced circumstances, whether they have the cut-offs or not, how many kids are there in the family, and all that stuff. Because you can demand as a teacher or just set the requirements to your students so that they would be present with their cameras on and blah blah blah. But when it comes to real-time situations, so you never know, yeah, whether it would be possible for them to be fully aware of what they are doing, fully present, and be these active listeners, yeah, and just behave the way you'd like them to behave. In this respect, so I will tell you that today we will so talk about how to understand learner needs, how to align teacher approaches with learner needs. We will discuss the impact of language proficiency on an understanding students' needs, discuss correlation between needs and motivation, talk about theories of motivation, and we will have some practical assignment during which you will be asked to think of how you can keep different students engaged. Okay, regarding this, I will gradually move to another portion of our today's information that deals with teaching approaches, because different teachers have different approaches. So actually, these three types of teachers, as well as the picture itself, so it's taken from Jeremy Harmer's book, and so you can here see three types of teachers. Georgie, who thinks that you can't really take all these individual differences into account because the important thing is just to teach the class, not take into account the individual differences. Tibor thinks that he'd better teach very little to the class as a whole, as his class has lots of individual tasks and small group work. He thinks the classroom is always a set of private lessons, as many as there are individuals. So he treats all his students or learners as individuals and tries to adjust to every child's need. And the third one, Edith, thinks that you can adapt class lessons to respond to many individual needs and differences, but within the group, for example, not maybe within the whole class, but within a certain group. Because like that, we can kind of group learners into some like teams or pairs, depending on their preferences and their needs. Now, I will assign you into breakout rooms. So there are currently 19 of us. I do not consider, so 18 are left. Somebody. So on hearing that, you will need to do something practically. Somebody left us. Still, right now there will be 6 groups of 3 students in each. Now, 3 students in each. And I will ask you to discuss these approaches. I will copy that and place it in our chat. So that you could see that in front of you. You could have it in front of you. Discuss whose approach you personally agree with the most and why? Okay. I'll stop sharing that. And now I will give you up to 6 minutes. Так. For this discussion. Okay. Now the rooms are open. You're welcome to join.
Eager to get the higher education. And so that is why taking into consideration all their individual needs is very difficult. So firstly, yes, so this kind of this point must have been taken when they were at school. Yes, to take into consideration all the individuals. So that is why our group, we agreed about TIBOR. Yes, we agreed the approach of TIBOR. The most effective one is to work with a small group of students and to give them the proper tasks. And maybe, Elizaveta, the last one, yes?
Edith.
Edit, yeah.
Okay, so I don't see Elizaveta, so perhaps she
Yeah.
she's
Yes, I
back.
worked
She's
with
with us.
Irene.
She's with us. There are so
Yeah,
many
she's
people
with
with
yes,
their
and
cameras
Irene.
on that so now she's not just among those first ones. Yeah, so not
Yeah.
on the top of the list. She's somewhere like lower, like on my list, I mean, yeah, on the way. So like your faces are shown to me.
Elizaveta said that the first person the first person is the most experienced one. Yes, and Elizaveta and tired maybe a little bit.
Tired, I would say, an elderly
Tired,
teacher.
yes.
Tired of teaching.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so like just do you agree, Elizaveta? Yeah, because like you had a discussion with Natalia, you held this discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we discussed it and we agreed on TIBOR as the best approach. Yeah, I just said that edit or edit, I don't know the stress syllable, which stress syllable should be, that she is pretty naive. She'll waste a lot of time. She will put a lot of effort, and it's not. I don't think it will pay off, because it's really tiring. It's exhausting when you prepare a lot for each group you have. You can have 7, you can have 8 groups, and to prepare for each an individual task, it's really, really hard. So that's why I think that TIBOR is balancing. Yeah, so that's why it sounds really cool.
So in order to balance, we should kind of like
Yes.
split our students up into micro groups, micro teams, at least pairs, so that so it would be more manageable, so that not only you as a teacher, but also the peers could be in charge of the whole process, and it would be less consuming compared to the
Yes.
third approach suggested by Edith.
If you don't want a burnout, then yes.
Definitely, yeah. So kind of delegate the responsibility. So
Absolutely.
onto the kids for you not to become so a tired, exhausted teacher who experiences a constant,
Georgie.
I would say, permanent burnout. Yeah. Thanks a lot. So any other ideas to share? Because like I do appreciate, yeah, so like your findings, I do appreciate like what you say. You have a lot of experience so behind your back, even in spite of the fact that some of you so do not currently work as teachers, but just kind of pre-service teachers, yeah, who give only private tutorials. But I do believe that you have a lot of experience to share with us. So anything of interest, anything to be mentioned? No? Everything has already been presented. Okay, then, so if not, then we are gradually moving to so the next like tasks of ours, because there will be a lot of activities so and a lot of information to be discussed today. Yeah, as we've already mentioned, so it was reflected on my Padlet platform that so talking about the students to teach them effectively, we should be in the know of their age, gender, aptitude. By the way, who'll tell me what aptitude stands for? What's this? Okay, just I will give you a slight hint. It's when somebody says, "Oh, I'm so bad at driving, I will never learn it." Yeah, because for example, I'm not that smart at like exact sciences or like when it comes to technology. I'm good at liberal arts, for example. What am I talking about? What is
Ability to do something?
kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Inborn talent or what? Inborn abilities?
right, you are. So aptitude is always about inborn or innate ability or talent to do something. Perfect. Yeah, so you've defined it properly. Then background, we already discussed it because it kind of incorporates, yeah, like some economical, social, financial, so and all the other kind of like problems that the students may have. Then learner types and learner styles. You see, like on that list suggested by you, we did not have gender, as well as we did not have aptitude, though background, learners types, and so to say, learners styles. Yeah, they were already mentioned by us, and we mentioned age. Yeah, so like quite a lot of things have already been mentioned. So let us get started with the very first, the most basic thing. When it comes to teaching the students or the learners of different age, so we can group them into three main categories. So to say, children, adolescents, kind of like teenagers and above that. These are not yet the adults, but these are high school students, so senior students, yeah? Those who are 10 form grader, like 10 formers or 10th graders or like 11th graders. So like, yeah, so teenagers plus high school learners. That's the category of students whom we call adolescents. Adults, that's more about those who are 20 something. Children, that's about all those, so up to the age of like kind of 10, perhaps even 11. Of course, like, why is it essential to know their age? Because when we are dealing and when we are talking about people of different age and learners of different age, we will use different strategies or apply different strategies working with them. Now, I hope you know these like platform learning apps. Quite a lot of teachers use that. That's why, so that won't be a problem for you to like work with that. And I believe that it would be great if we will not waste time, but instead organize in plenary work. Here you can see three groups of students, of learners based on their age. All of them have some peculiar characteristics. And now I'd like you to help me with sorting everything out. Yeah. In case if we do that properly, on the background, we will see the picture that will be hidden behind this puzzle. And later I will tell you what for we need that picture. So, learn in more abstract ways. So, who is mentioned? Children, adolescents, or adults? Who can learn in more abstract ways?
Adults.
Adults. Right, you are.
Adults.
Then,
Adults.
a teacher should be clear in his speech, talking to these learners. Should be
Children.
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 Right, you are. These learners are motivated by goals like career, education, personal growth.
Adults.
Adolescents.
Adults, yeah, because like when it comes to career, it's more about adults. Then cognitive skills start being developed, just start being developed.
Adolescents.
Adolescents.
Okay, you're
I
right.
think
Sorry? Margarita? Where are you? Just
No,
once again?
no, I told adolescents.
Adolescent. Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, you're on the right track. So formal grammar teaching may not be beneficial to them if you just teach them some grammar rules.
Definitely not adults, maybe children and adolescents. Yeah.
Who
children.
should they
I
choose?
think children.
Children. Yeah.
Children.
Capable of self-directed learning, but still need guidance. So on the one hand, they can work single-handedly, but on the other hand, they need some scaffolding to be provided to them. Who are they?
Adolescence.
Adolescence.
Adolescent.
Okay, right, you are. Then they have short attention span. So that's what Elizaveta meant, I believe, yeah, by concentration, because like much depends also on the attention span. So whether it's short or whether it's long. And lessons should be brief and varied regarding this.
Children.
Children.
Yeah, because children can concentrate for a long period of time. Then these learners are anxious when they experience failure.
Maybe adolescence?
Adolescence.
I think adolescent.
Who does not
I
like?
don't know. I would say adults.
No.
Yeah. So Elizaveta was right, yeah? So it's in the nature of adults to be scared of making a mistake because
To
they
overthink.
yeah, and they think that, "Oh, what if I make a mistake? I'm a mature person. What will the teacher think of me? That I'm so silly, I'm so stupid."
Stupid,
So
yes.
children usually just answer straightforwardly and directly, and they say whatever they think, be it correct or just incorrect. They say straightforwardly when it comes to adults. So Irina, for example, yeah, so she's learning a language, but she's afraid of saying something because she's afraid of making a mistake. That's in the nature of mature people. They think that everything should be perfect, yeah, and that's like the biggest mistake they make. So never wait for some better times to come. Do it at once. Stop being scared of like who will say something or what they will say and tell you. Then, these learners are critical of teaching methods, can self-reflect and critique their own learning process. They can be critical even of themselves, to say nothing of the teacher.
Adults? No?
Adults.
Right, you are. They want to focus on fluency. They are interested in fluency.
Adults.
Yeah. They are interested in reasoning and understanding why. Not just that, so it should work according to this rule, but why? Who starts asking these questions?
Adults.
Adults.
It's a problem of adults. Yeah.
Let's see.
I would say
No.
children.
No.
Maybe adolescent.
Adolescents then.
Adolescents. It's in the nature of teenagers to start asking questions. Why? Do you know what my son, a teenager, who is so almost 15, so says and asks me whenever I ask him to do something? He says, "І що? І нащо? І нащо? І про що це?" Like, they always keep on asking these questions. So, Svetlana, do you have anything to say in this respect?
I've got a lot of adults that can say а що це and for what. Тобто, нащо, for what.
You mean that so this question can be asked by both kids?
Yeah, because for example, my teens maybe never says that, but adults, but adults maybe during each hour lesson.
Okay, so thank you for this clarification.
Yeah, and maybe they will say it about irregular verbs. So the table of regular verbs.
Okay, so perfect. Thank you for these comments. So I do appreciate whenever you comment. Then these learners are unwilling to make mistakes or take risks. Unwilling to make mistakes or take risks.
Adults.
Adults.
They learn best through play, visuals, songs, and hands-on activities.
Children.
Children.
Okay. They need individual attention, reward, and teachers' approval.
Adolescent.
Adolescent.
Also children.
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 Yeah.
And the last one, they like when a teacher is interested in their life beyond the classroom.
Maybe adolescents.
Adolescents.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, we had only 2 mistakes. What do we have now, by the way?
Different stages, different levels of English.
Yeah.
Of learning English language.
Is it essential for a teacher to be in the know not only of the age of the students, but also of their level?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. So when I was doing my, by the way, so I made one mistake, one great mistake while doing so my CELTA course, because I used to think before I started doing it that so like or when it comes to some pre-intermediate learners, then whom did I imagine? Some children, some kids. When it comes to upper intermediate learners, then so definitely I had the image of these upper intermediate or even advanced learners. It happened that center, yeah, so language center, provided us with students who were like of different age, from those aged 15 to those who were 50 plus something. And like that was like this whole group of students was pre-intermediate learners. My God. When I saw that, I didn't know what to do because I expected to see like those teenagers who were in their seventh or maybe sixth form. And so here came some people aged 40 plus, 50 plus. It seems to me there was even a lady like 60 something. Yeah. And among us, those teachers who were doing the CELTA course, there was one lady who was 60 something. I could hardly understand what for she needed that, but so she was definitely quite eager to get her CELTA certificate. That's why do not think that age and, for example, level of proficiency should be equals. Because for certain categories of learners, it can be their second or third or even fourth foreign language, and they can start acquiring it or learning it. So at the age that would be much kind of like higher than just like teenage years or even their 20s something. Okay, then let us again proceed to these slides of mine. Yeah, when it comes to teaching pre-intermediate and upper intermediate learners, what differences will you see in teaching them? Now, let us not think that pre-intermediate learners are definitely the teenagers and upper intermediate are adults. Forget about this. Just think about their level of proficiency. Will there be any difference in teaching these two groups of students? Because you will have to deal just with these two groups doing your CELTA course. You won't deal with kids. So like most of them will be either teenagers or adolescents, or even, I would say, most of them will be adults of different level of knowledge. What will be the difference in teaching these groups? I'd like to elicit that from you and to hear that from you. Okay, main differences. Don't be afraid of talking. So first of all, complex tasks. Will it be possible to give it to them? Just to upper intermediate level learners, yeah? Upper intermediate levels, learners whose level of knowledge is quite great, yeah? They can focus on complex structures. So you can suggest the tasks through which, or by doing this, they can expand their vocabulary. You can use authentic materials like podcasts, TED Talks, news videos, because they will perceive that. And they will be able to focus on fluency and accuracy, and there would be a good balance of both. They will be able to participate in debates, discussions, presentations, problem-solving tasks, simulations, role plays, project-based tasks. And their critical thinking could be stimulated, or hot skills, yeah, HOTS, like high-order thinking skills, can be stimulated by analyzing articles, summarizing, comparing arguments. And they are ready for self-correction and peer feedback because they will treat it adequately. While pre-intermediate learners, yeah, will not be able to deal with complex notions. That's why you should teach sentence structure clearly, like kind of, yeah, so what is what and where all these parts of the sentences should be placed in the sentence. You should introduce complex concepts gradually. Start with everyday topics they are familiar with. Use a lot of visuality. So use much slower pace of talking. Yeah, clear recordings and videos with subtitles. Encourage at least micro dialogues, at least some like minimal exchange per work, and use interactive games like bingo, or find someone who, through which they will be mingling, interacting with each other, but these tasks do not require a lot of talks behind that, and they will be pretty manageable. Okay. And so, yeah, one more thing that was omitted by us that wasn't on our list is gender. Is it or isn't it essential for us as teachers to take into account the gender of our students?
Maybe topic for girls and boys.
Absolutely, it's essential. In our community, so actually the groups or classes, they are more homogeneous, you know, the groups of students, I mean, but in other communities, in other cultures, they may be taught differently. Boys and girls are separated. We've got one participant who knows that. Yeah, that man from Pakistan, the Pakistani guy. So probably he knows, and we should be aware that we are different and we should pay some attention. We should be delicate in some spheres, probably. And it's necessary, especially nowadays, when we have to pay attention to cultural aspects. So we should pay attention to these topics, especially as we have so many problems nowadays. I mean, in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Irina, for talking. Perhaps
But it is,
can
but
add
it
something. Yeah.
concerns.
Mhm.
Sorry, but it concerns if we have a multinational group. If we're speaking about, for example, Ukrainian
Taking
students,
into account
Korean.
those flows of people getting to the country, and our people are migrating everywhere, so it's probably focus on such aspects, yeah, and teach at least most
I understand what Irina
essential things, yeah.
is driving at, actually. Yeah, so she is
Yeah.
like, yeah, because like nowadays, because of this wartime situation, quite a lot of people of ours, yeah, and so teenagers, like learners in general, so they migrate to different countries, and in different countries, so like the aspect of gender is treated differently. In most of the Arab countries, like Pakistan,
Absolutely.
so
And
it's a bright example.
taking into account the migrants in European countries nowadays, probably it's necessary to pay attention to such things.
Yeah, so
it's part of cultural aspect, actually. Yeah.
yeah, in Slavic countries, yeah, in Slavic countries, we have co-educational schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why perhaps it sounds strange, yeah, to consider such a factor as gender, because it's obvious.
In our culture, yeah, in our culture, it's strange, but all over the world, and the world is great, so it's essential to teach our
It needs to be taken into
at
account.
least teenagers and adults. Probably it's necessary to explain something, yeah,
Yeah.
that the world is diverse, actually, yeah, and all these aspects should be taken into account because the influence is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And with us, may I add something?
Okay.
Yeah, please.
If we are talking about learning, I would say that boys have a bit different point of view, and they understand some topics and they understand some materials in a bit different way. And also, boys tend to be more straightforward, but we all know that English is quite a polite language. Yeah, so sometimes you just need to also to take that into consideration, that you need to tell them that, oh no, you're not allowed to say like that because you would be very rude in this situation. Yeah, you need to be a bit more polite. You need to say something a bit differently, paraphrase that. So it's also, yeah, a point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for raising this discussion. So Inna disagrees on that because so she is used as well as me to working with classes or groups of students, yeah, where we do not experience or we do not see it to be a problem. So we have co-educational schools, and it's not a problem for us. But even in the British society,
even in my military, okay, let it be university. I won't name it. I have male cadets and female cadets in one group, and that is why it's not a problem.
yeah, but even in the British culture, yeah, there used to be schools just for boys or just for girls. They do exist right now. These are public schools. Yeah, so kind of like this tendency to have in schools just for like one gender, I cannot say that they were abolished, because they do exist even now. But so like that's highly popular in another culture. Yeah, to say nothing of Arab countries, because in Arab countries and as well as in Pakistan, Afghanistan, yeah, so like there is a tendency to having like these classes just for girls or just for boys. And in this respect, so I can't but mention that when it comes to gender, like we need to be in the know that, for example, it's in the nature of the ladies to be more positive about learning the languages. They like that. Whereas guys, for example, yeah, like to do some technical stuff. That's why we have so many IT specialists among boys, but so many like students, like female students, willing or wishing to learn a new language. Yeah, so like in all those language schools. And if you also take into account the teachers, yeah, the teachers who teach English or any other foreign languages, most of them are ladies. Yeah, that's why. So in this respect, we cannot but mention this aspect or like this factor. Then aptitudes. So Irina, yeah, thanks to Irina, we now know that.
Hello, Olena.
Oh, okay. Fahad, you were willing to say
I would
something.
like to say something.
Yeah.
So basically in Pakistan we have not just one education system. What I want to say is that when you look at private schools, there is a co-education. They do not separate classes for girls and boys. So in private school, it is co-education. When it comes to public schools, at primary, from kindergarten to class fifth or grade fifth, they are together. So co-education. Yeah, from what can I say? From sixth to 12th grade, they are separate. Again, at university, from their 13th year of education are
What accounts for this separation? For this separation, just at the level of like the sixth, you said, or seventh form? Like, what is the need behind that?
different,
Exactly at this age?
primary is different.
Sorry, didn't hear that. Could you please repeat? Oh,
It's a
No,
cultural
I
reasons.
think it is because mostly it is because I think it is cultural. It is cultural and religious, but mostly cultural, I think.
Yes.
So thank you for like so for providing this cultural context here. Yeah, when it comes to aptitudes, like one more factor that cannot be omitted by us. So like that's our natural or inborn innate ability or talent for doing something, for either learning the language or, for example, acquiring any other skill. Yeah. Then, students' background, we mentioned it. It's kind of like environment that our students come from, cultural, religious background, financial, social, economical. So that needs to be known by the teacher for us to take everything into account. Then, so in this respect, so we also should mention the learner types and learner styles or multiple intelligences, like this theory that is invented by Gardner. So, like according to this, aptitude theory, yeah. So some students, if not all, have some innate or inborn abilities, or in other words, they are born with some talent for something. But according to these learner style and learner type theories, different groups of learners or just individuals are not born with some talents, yeah? Because these theories claim that certain intelligences can be developed throughout the lifetime, yeah. For example, you might be prone to being a visual learner, but thanks to you being in certain environment, you can develop like auditory skills in you, yeah, or you can develop these auditory senses that would work better than visual ones. When it comes to learner types, it's always about the way we perceive the world and the information in it. So to say, if, for example, you like to perceive the information through your eyes, then you are a visual learner. Yeah. If you like to get it, so like through your ears, then you are auditory learner. If you like to do something, you are kinesthetic learner. If you like to perceive something just by smelling it, I'm that person, for example. So I'm a visual, I'm a perfect mixture of different sensory channels, because I do like to feel the scent or this pleasant aroma of something, yeah. I like perfumes very much. That's why, so I can perceive the world by this olfactory system of mine. And there are certain categories of people who like to taste or try everything, yeah? So they exploit different senses. Based on this, Howard Gardner created his or invented his theory of multiple intelligences. Still, even his theory of multiple intelligences are now highly criticized. And here comes one more meme with this guy who is highly critical of everything and who says, so you are telling me learning styles don't exist? Yeah. So like certain scientists and methodologists claim that we shouldn't over rely on this multiple intelligences theory. But nevertheless, so like it helped a lot in understanding our learners, yeah, because so based on these multiple intelligences, the teacher should conduct some kind of questionnaire to be well aware of what types of students are there in his class and what styles they prefer. But do not put this equality mark. That's one more time today when I say do not put the equality mark either between age and level of the proficiency of your students, as well as do not put the equality mark between the types of learners and their learner styles. Yeah, in most of the cases, if you are a visual learner, for example, you may rely on some kind of special visual intelligence, yeah. But there are cases, and I know such people who, being very artistic and perceiving the world visually, still like to interact with other people. They like communication, they like socialization. So their, for example, learner type is visual, though their learner style is interpersonal. That's why there is no direct correlation between types of learners and their styles. Okay, and now I will suggest taking these it's just taking this learning style test. So yeah, I will provide you with some cases and with some situations that will describe certain types of learners. We'll need to get acquainted with the cases and decide what learning style will be suitable for each of these learners. For example, Maria always draws mind maps and pictures when she learns new vocabulary. What learning style will be suitable for her?
Visual.
Visual.
So she's a visual learner, yeah. That's why. So the style that would be suitable for her is kind of special visual, yeah, because she's like picture smart. Then Dmytro likes to discuss ideas with classmates and he enjoys group work.
Something that you mentioned, I forgot the name of it.
Interpersonal.
Interpersonal when it comes to communicating and socializing with other people. Yeah, he's interpersonal learner. Yeah, he's kind of people smart. Alex remembers new language best when he repeats phrases aloud.
Intrapersonal.
He repeats phrases to himself.
Auditory. Auditory?
It's auditory.
He's
A
an
kind of
auditory learner.
learner,
type of
yeah.
learner. And when it comes to his multiple intelligence, what's this? He's
Musical?
musical or music smart, right? Yeah, because
Yeah,
like he likes to
musical.
hear something.
Yes.
Then Nina prefers to read instructions carefully and take details. She prefers to read and she prefers to take detailed notes before trying any task. She's highly analytical. That's why. Where is she?
Yeah.
Logical,
Maybe logical,
mathematical.
Logical, mathematical, right? You are, because she likes to analyze everything. And the last one, Olha finds it hard to sit still during long explanations. All the time.
She's a kinesthetic learner.
She finds it
Maybe.
hard to sit still. Yeah, she's kind of like kinesthetic learner. Yeah, when it comes to defining her learning type. And when it comes to her multiple intelligence, where is she?
Body kinesthetic.
Body kinesthetic, because she needs to move. She cannot perceive the information just by sitting still and doing nothing. Yeah, that's right. Okay, and one more aspect that cannot be overlooked, but that wasn't mentioned today, is motivation. Yeah, it's kind of like inner force that drives you, that causes you to act, that so makes you start something, or vice versa, stop it if you don't like, quit something if you don't like it. So it involves a number of forces that activate your behavior. By the way, I believe you are in the know that there exist two main types. You will tell me, why do you have four? There are two main types of motivation, extrinsic and intrinsic. So if you are driven by your love of language, you just love learning the languages, then it's intrinsic motivation, something in you that makes you enjoy what you do. When it comes to, for example, some outer force, for example, these are that's your teacher, or these are your parents who say, just if you don't learn the language, for example, yeah, you'll be punished. If you bring a bad mark in English, so you'll be punished. That's about extrinsic motivation, because it's not about your own love of the language. It's about, yes, somebody else who forces you into doing that or makes you do that. Still, certain scientists define also two more types of motivation, instrumental and integrative. What are they about? Any guesses?
Instrumental, maybe when you need the language for some purpose and you should use it as a tool. And integrative, when you just would have to communicate, or you have feel this need to communicate, to integrate with a group of people or in a society.
Kind of.
I suppose.
If you aim at going abroad, and if you wish to start, for example, living there, and you want to integrate into that society and become the part of that society, it's integrative motivation, yeah, so that defines what you do. Instrumental, it's like when you treat the language, any foreign language, as a tool for achieving your goal. So you need to learn English or German or French in order to get, for example, get promoted, in order to get, have a better career choice, in order to get a better position, in order to, for example, to start making more money or something of the kind. Yeah. So like extrinsic motivation is interrelated with these other two types, instrumental and integrative. But I've decided like to provide you like with like all these types so that you could be in the know. Now let's analyze the following situation. So if you were teaching a group of learners, each of whom had different motivations for learning English, extrinsic, intrinsic, instrumental, or integrative, which learners would be the most challenging in terms of motivation? What do you think? Which of them would be the most challenging for you as a teacher?
Extrinsic.
Extrinsic.
Yeah, so the first one. Because like those who understand that like it can be a tool for achieving success, yeah, or it can be a tool for integrating into the society, like of those native speakers. Yeah, so that won't be that challenging. That wouldn't be that difficult, right, Yuan? Thanks a lot. Okay, and when it comes to the theories of motivation, there are a number of them. We've already discussed intrinsic and intrinsic motivation, but there are a number of other theories like ARCS model, Motivation Island, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Dornier's L2 motivational self-system. And now I would like to introduce them to you. I would like to give you some time, let it be like kind of like 3 minutes. So you are not assigned into any breakout rooms. You will work individually. Feel free, feel comfortable, and try to take notes, yeah, of what theory of motivation should be matched to what explanation. What theory should be matched to what explanation. Do it somewhere on a sheet of paper, or you can immediately start typing that in our group chat. I don't mind. So you can start doing that immediately in the chat. In a couple of minutes, we will check it together with you, and I will provide some clarifications behind. So Svetlana has already provided us with the answers. Okay, and Margarita, yeah? Okay, there are 2 people who are done with everything. Let us start checking it, yeah? And like the rest will be involved, yeah? So the first one, so ladies say that it should be E, yeah, it should be E. The first one, intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. So this theory was suggested by Detsy and Ryan in 1985. Let us check if it matches this E description. According to this theory, there are 2 types of motivation. The first type is defined as doing an activity for inherent satisfaction. The second refers to behavior that is driven by external rewards. Right, you are. Yeah, let me connect it to this post. Yeah, it's here. Then, number 2, you said that it should be, as far as I remember, D. Yeah, D. Let's read. So 2D. This model focuses on 4 components: learner's interest, as it's critical to get and hold the learner's attention; usefulness of the content, so that learners can bridge the gap between content and the real world; confidence level that correlates with success expectations; and satisfaction, as learners should be satisfied of what they achieve during the learning process. Yeah. We have here the abbreviation that consists of 4 letters, yeah? The first letter A, what does it stand for?
Attention.
Attention.
Attention. Then the second one, R. What is
Real
R?
world.
So, and relevance, yeah, relevance.
Relevance.
How relevant, yeah, the material is. So how you will, like, you'll be able to use that, whether you will need it, yeah, whether it's relevant. The third deals with letter C. It's about your confidence, whether the knowledge of certain material, yeah, or information will make you more confident in your skills, abilities, your knowledge. And the last S deals with your own satisfaction, how it is satisfied you are with this result, thanks to the fact that you've acquired something or learned something. Then again, I will just match it to D. Yeah, number 2 is D. Так, then the third one. So you said that it should be A. This theory resembles a map of ideas or coordinate system, систему координат, with 4 quarters that teachers can explore when looking for new strategies to motivate their classes. Top left quarter corresponds to interest in the language and topics you present. Bottom left quarter deals with good level of challenge. Top right represents usefulness, and bottom right embodies social atmosphere of cooperation. Yeah, that's about 3 motivation island theory suggested by Hancock. Oh, just a moment. It should be matched to this one. Так, then number 4, Maslow's and Alderfer's model or hierarchy of needs. It deals with C. This theory is based on hierarchy of human needs, yeah? Like when we are in safety, when we are provided with food, when we are not thirsty, we can start thinking about self-development, so about like improving, about like our own self-esteem and all that stuff. Oh, just again. Connected to post C. Yeah. And the last one, so 5, journals L2 motivational self system. So like that is the newest of all the theories. It was invented in 2009, and it should be matched to B because motivation in second language acquisition is driven by how learners see themselves in the future and their experiences in the present. Yeah. So kind of we need to achieve the so-called ideal L2 in spite of all the pressures, yeah, so that can be met on our way. Yeah, I should connect it to B. Yeah, connected to be. Yeah, that's why. So congratulations. Yeah, all those ladies who suggested these answers were absolutely correct. Yeah, so suggested absolutely correct answers. Let us once again have a look at these models. Yeah. This one deals with attention, relevance, confidence, and satisfaction. How related are they to each other? For example, so we usually pay attention to something that is weird, something that makes us either laugh or struggle or feel kind of intrigued or curious about something so that it can hook our attention. Then, so we start analyzing something from the point of view how the material is relevant and useful, so relevant to our needs, how confident we become thanks to learning something new, and how satisfied we are because of this result. Thanks to this motivation island theory, it means that the interest should arise for us to start doing something again. Yeah, so we should have some interest to what we do. Besides, the tasks that we do, bottom left, that's here, should be neither too easy nor too difficult, but doable or quite feasible. Then top right square says that in order to learn a new language, so the things we are learning in class should be useful or relevant to our lives and our needs. And bottom right corner says that motivation will be maintained in case if the teachers organize such kind of the classroom in which the students cooperate with each other without any sort of rivalry or bullying, so that it could become a non-phase threatening environment. The same ideas are supported by Maslow and Elderfel's hierarchies of needs. By the way, Maslow created the pyramid that consisted only of 5 levels, but the 6th one was kind of worked out and added to this hierarchy and this pyramid by Elderfels. So, how now this changed pyramid looks like? It consists of 6 levels, yeah, because Elderfer added this 6th level. The first 3, the bottom ones, are responsible for our safety. So to say, if physiologically we feel that we have some shelter to hide or some apartment to live in, we are well fed, we are not thirsty, we are in comfortable environment where people treat us positively and we feel in safety, if this level is obtained, then we can jump to the level that will be responsible for our own growth, because so that's where the interest arises, that's where the involvement comes, that's where we become autonomous or independent even learners, and that's where we become responsible for our own learning. We just set the goals and start achieving them. Okay, so we have 9 minutes left. Unfortunately, there is no time for breakout rooms, but still, I believe that we still have time for dealing with some situations, for discussing some situations together in plenary. So I provided you now with the situations that can arise in your life as a teacher, because you can come across different learners of different types. They can be named differently, but so the profiles of these learners will be pretty similar. Let us imagine that we have Maria, the shy but hardworking learner who is 9 years old and has A1 level of English. She enjoys studying English but is extremely shy in speaking activities, prefers writing tasks, avoids volunteering and speaking orally in class. She lacks confidence, fears making mistakes, struggles in expressing her thoughts. So to say, when it comes to writing, she hands in perfect tasks, but when it comes to speaking, she is not that confident. What will you suggest? What strategies or activities will help Maria to overcome that fear, and what strategies will meet her personal needs? What do you think? Unmute yourselves and start talking.
I would suggest a project. a very easy topic to draw something and explain what is drawn, as she is fond of. It worked with my granddaughter, you know. She is not fond of speaking and she is not fond of English at all. But when it came to a project, she presented it and she was encouraged. Yeah, that's the practical experience.
Oh, perhaps because like she was interested in the topic. So did she present it
She's
individually?
interested in drawing, yeah.
Okay.
And she wanted to speak about what that drawing that she prepared, yeah, as she is fond of drawing. And the topic was suggested by the teacher, of course, and we discussed it with her. We learned it, yeah, but she was so proud when she presented it in class, yeah, and probably it was like a bridge for the language.
Thank you. So did she
A kind of
participate
bridge.
alone? So did she work on that project individually or in group?
No, they worked individually. They were supposed to work individually, but presented it in class, you know, for the group.
I saw that Svetlana raised her hand, and so now like I no longer see that that hand raised. Would you like to add something, or like Irina has?
Yeah, so I can. So, Maria is a shy but hardworking learner, as far as we know. So, the teachers should create a supportive and low stress learning environment to help her feel more confident speaking. So, first, the teacher can use pair work instead of speaking in front of the whole class, for example. And speaking with one partner is less stressful and can help Maria feel safer practicing English. Secondly, maybe it's helpful to start with structured speaking activities such as repeating short phrases, reading dialogues, or answering simple guided questions. This reduces the fear of making mistakes, maybe. And thirdly, maybe the teachers should give positive feedback and encouragement when Maria tries to speak. So maybe it will increase her confidence and motivation. And another useful strategy is to combine writing and speaking activities. For instance, Maria can first write a short sentence and then read it aloud. And finally, the teacher can use games, pictures, why not, and role plays games, for example, which makes speaking more natural and enjoyable for young learners. Because, for example, I work with different types of learners and with different ages, yeah, but and of course with students of primary school. So for example, for them it's sometimes difficult to share their own opinion or something like that. So first of all, I give them maybe some phrases, full phrases, and after that they can use my phrases and, for example, change some words or something like that. So it's like I can give them prompt, for example.
Suggest prompts. I particularly like the idea of combining writing and speaking, but I would slightly change the way, yeah, so of how we can combine that. Why not check this written home assignment, then bring this work into the classroom and say, for example, Maria, so I particularly liked your ideas related to blah, blah, blah. Could you please give more comments? I wouldn't like to read everything because it would take a lot of time. Could you please do it yourself? Could you please like specify some ideas that may be of interest to the rest of your classmates, for example, yeah? And that's how you will motivate or prompt her to speak. But so I rather like the idea, yeah, of combining, so like these writing and speaking activities. Yeah, it will be kind of commenting on what was previously written. So she will have a prompt in front of her, and in case even if she's like too shy or not confident, so in speaking, she can so take this prompt and have a look at it whenever needed. Yeah, she can peep anytime. Yeah, thanks a lot. Then we have like the second learner profile. Daniel, the independent learner, 45 years old with A2 plus level of English. He prefers self-study, enjoys using apps like Duolingo. Nowadays, quite a lot of learners, especially elderly ones, who maybe like lack money or lack time, or think that they may seem to be silly in the eyes of the teacher. Yeah, they prefer to use some apps like Duolingo or watch some videos on YouTube and acquire the language this way. However, he dislikes traditional methods and gets impatient and bored in slow-paced lessons. So he definitely needs some interaction, some activity. What will you suggest? Any ideas? So
if it is if he's studying in a group, then of course some work in pairs, work in threes, and so on and so forth, and discuss, watch some video, diversify, yes, the lesson, like including, of course, videos, then discuss retelling, like, for example, speak out, yeah, what is important, what is not important, using the key phrases, something like that. Then, of course, go to another task. If he doesn't like slow pace, so it should be like
and perhaps gamification,
faster.
yeah, gamification, and
And
using
of
a
course,
number of new
gamifications.
platforms, not only Duolingo and YouTube. Duolingo is great when you are just kind of communicating just with that built-in assistant, built-in.
It's not so great. I tried
But
it. I tried
it's
it
not
once. I
that
didn't
great.
like
That's
it.
what we know because we are teachers of English. But that's so that's what they cannot understand, because they consider it to be the greatest tool ever, because it praises them for every achievement. Yeah. So for every word that was correctly spelled or pronounced. Okay, Svetlana, you're welcome.
So, for my money, and we can use, for example, board games or flashcards, or maybe word wall or Kahoot, for example. So maybe not. Maybe during each lesson, but maybe sometimes, or maybe usually, we can use it. And in this way, Daniel will not maybe dislike traditional methods and get impatient. Okay, so but or for example, if we talk about learning vocabulary or refreshing them, so we can use board games. Why not? Or for example, like Crocodile or Who Am I or something like that. Maybe.
Again,
Why
so
not?
a lot of interaction, yeah, so a lot of interaction, new digital tools, so that he could be hooked all the time. Yeah, and the last comment, we will not analyze all six, but just I'm highly interested in such a profile of a person who is unmotivated. These two were more or less motivated in spite of their current level of proficiency. They were motivated. What are we to do with those who feel unmotivated, who kind of like stopped learning, who are unwilling to continue, like Sophia, who is learning English just because it's mandatory in her school, obligatory. She rarely participates, does the minimum required work, finds grammar boring, lacks intrinsic motivation, and prefers using her native language all the time. What are we to do with such learners?
motivate them.
How? By doing what?
Probably it's useful to learn something from her background this time and find the appropriate topics for discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should start.
If we know what a person likes, probably we can try and involve the person, yeah, in a way, suggest something interesting and something that can motivate the person, yeah, some topics for discussion.
A great choice to start with something that is like that will interest the person, yeah, like the topics that will be related to their personal hobbies and interests. So great, thanks a lot. And the final touch, yeah, so with this we will recap, with which we will just wrap up our today's session and stop because it's high time to do that. So are there any ideas of the session we had today that you would immediately that you liked and that's why you would immediately put into a suitcase and use them? Yeah, for example, something that you particularly liked, something that, for example, you did not know, something that you saw from a different perspective. Are there any ideas that you would like to put into a chest of drawers to reconsider because you think that, I will need to come back to it later on and think it over because right now I'm in two minds about it? Or perhaps there is something that you consider to be absolutely unnecessary. That's why you decide you will grind it at a windmill as unnecessary. Like, do you happen to have any of the ideas that would fall into at least some of these categories? Maybe if not all, then at least that something that would fall at least in one of these categories. Is there anything you'd like to share?
I think motivation theories, I would like to put them into a chest of drawers to reconsider because there was something worth attention, of course. So probably it is worth reconsidering. Yeah.
Okay. And I just kind of anticipate that it was a bit of new information, yeah? Like to you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So Ina, you were
of course new of all I just wanted to mention as well about theories of motivation. Of course, maybe even if somewhere at one point of my career I came across with them, but of course I don't remember them all, and I'm not sure that I will memorize all those theories. Motivation is obligatory, is really important, and we need it. But I'm not sure about knowing all those theories.
Oh, no one says that you should know all of them, yeah? But at least there was something in them that hooked you, yeah? And so something that you think you
some
like
new
to...
information, yeah, but yes, not that like I don't know, using them immediately.
We need to take into consideration as teachers, at least. Yeah, we need to take into
consideration. Of course.
Yeah, for us to motivate our learners. Okay, with this we will quit. Yeah, so thanks a lot for our today's session. Thanks for your active participation in breakout rooms, in plenary. Thanks for staying with us till the end. That was like the last theoretical class. Yeah, theoretical, because we definitely needed to have some basics, basics as kind of cornerstones for us to start working with more practical stuff. So beginning with the very next session, so like we will deal with language systems. Namely, we will talk about lessons dedicated to teaching grammar. And our next class will be fully dedicated to teaching grammar. It will be much more practical. That's why, so hopefully you are now intrigued, and I believe that so I will see all of you being so excited as you are as you were today in our next class. So have a blessed evening, a peaceful one, yeah. So and I'm willing to see all of your smiling faces in a week again. Okay, so thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.